Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to week 3 of the School of Fierce Feels and Facts. Hello to all of you who are watching the recording, and thank you to all of you who are here live tonight. This week we are talking about comparison, and we are doing a deep dive into this space. And maybe for some of you who have done groups with me before, you will be familiar with what we're about to do tonight. This is like what I call my bread and butter of like getting to the root of who you are. Zeta's like, yeah, I know this. But I'm doing it in kind of a different way and around the space of comparison for a reason. Before we do that, some of you who hopped in late, can you jot in your feelings of the day, what you're feeling? Would we do this at the beginning of every single call, just like a feeling word to identify how we're at? So far we have anxious, overwhelmed, chill, annoyed, also overjoyed. Oh my goodness, congratulations, Zeta, on having your offer accepted on a house. That's huge, huge fucking deal. I know that feeling, and it's really, really overwhelming to go through the house process. So yeah, just jot those down. And all of that good stuff. And I said I was feeling detached, but also thrilled to be here. And while we're waiting for everyone to say that, I would just love to hear in the comments, since we are talking about the comparison game, where do you find yourself comparing yourself to others the most? What are things that you're like, oh, I see this and I want that, or I'm noticing this and I find, in what areas of your life do you find comparison? There's no wrong answer. Just jot it in the chat. This is a big topic, and we're just going to be really getting into the meat, getting into the meat today. Finance, work, career, so all in the space of freedom. Gotcha. So you see somebody else and you're like, I want that. I wish I had that. Yeah. For me, my comparison started really at a young age around my body image. Does anyone else resonate with that? Or it's like, I see her and I wish I looked like that. Or, or even relationships, like they look so happy. Yeah, body, relationships, skills. Lots of areas that we compare ourselves in, right? And at the end of the day, we're talking about fear this month, right? And really, comparison is rooted in fear. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to have a good enough relationship. I'm not going to be happy enough, feel sexy enough, look pretty enough, be successful enough, make enough money. And so, but it's like, where is the enough coming from, right? Enough compared to what? And we have these very skewed, problematic perceptions of what we need to be achieving in order to be whatever we think we need to be, right? This fuck yes self. And it's rooted in the external. It's rooted in someone else's perspective, someone else's expression, instead of rooted from inside. So today we're going to flip the script on that. And this month is all about fear. It's also all about what we've been talking about from the get-go, right? Getting a little bit of that curiosity flexing and the self-awareness muscle flexing. And so today we're going to be doing that in more of a concrete way, which is why I asked you to make sure you have something to write with. So if you don't have your journal or something to write, we're doing kind of like a lot of writing today. Then make sure you have that. Let me let Rachel in real quick. Before we do that though, I want us to get grounded. I know we probably have had a long day, a lot of different stuff going on. So we're just going to do a really quick grounding embodiment exercise. So if you can get just comfy wherever you are, make sure you have something underneath you, whether it's a chair. If you want to lay down, that's totally fine. And if it feels good, to put your hand over your heart and your hand on your belly and close your eyes. And just notice your breath. This might be the first moment of your day that you've actually gotten still and curious with yourself. Just let yourself be. Let your breath move through your body as it's feeling most called to. Notice your stomach move with every exhale, or your chest rise and fall. Feel the connection that your thighs and your ass have to the chair beneath you, or whatever you're sitting on that's holding you up. And whatever you've been going through today, I know a lot of us are feeling overwhelmed and anxious. Remember that this is a safe space for you. This is your time to let all of the to-dos and the shoulds and the bullshit of the day go for a little bit and just focus on yourself. And I want you to take one set of conscious breaths. We're going to do the count to 4, breathing in, holding for 4, and release on 8, like we did last week. So when I count to 3, we'll start. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Hold. 1, 2, 3, and release big. Good, let that go. Let your arms down wherever they were. And slowly, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, beautiful. Great, so grab your journals. And there's kind of 2 options for how you can set this up. So if you have a bigger page kind of like this, you can set your journal up into, basically you want to have 6 different sections. So you can draw a page down the line down the middle, and then 3, so you can create 6 quadrants. Or if you have a smaller journal like this one, you can just use 1 page for each of the sections. And each section is, and you're going to type this in the quadrants. I'll write it in the chat so you have it. The first one is health, relationships, finances, work/purpose, personal/spiritual growth, and play/pleasure. If those words do not feel aligned to you, you can choose another word that feels aligned that's within that. So if you prefer wellness to health, use that. If you like the word rest instead of play and pleasure, use that. Whatever feels the most aligned for you. So if that's in a quadrants, it would look like this, health, relationships, it doesn't matter what order. Finances, work, purpose, personal, spiritual growth. If you do it in the small one, each page has the title at the top. When you're done with that, give me your eyeballs. Okay, how are we doing? See most of our eyeballs. Okay, the next section, and I'll give you like 2 minutes to do this. Under each one, or next to each one, however you prefer, I like to kind of put it to the side and circle it. I want you to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not fulfilled in this area of my life at all, to 10 being I am so fulfilled, I am constantly overflowing and feel like I'm embodying my fuck yes self in this space. I want you to just rate 1 to 10, give it a number beside each column or each one, okay? I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, how are we doing? Do we have our numbers? Yeah? Okay, good. The next section is going to be the longest section. I'm probably going to give you about 10 minutes for this. So underneath and in each box or on each page, you are going to write 1 to 3 things. And the question is what I want to cultivate. So under health, what you want to cultivate in that category of your life, 1 to 3 different things. If you can only come up with 1, that's totally fine. If you're like in an abundance for each category, that's fine too. Does everyone understand that? So it's what I want to cultivate. I'll write that in the chat, and I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Feel free to put music on, like that really vibes with you, or if you like silence, whatever works. Just give yourself the space to really let yourself go there and be vulnerable with yourself. Like, don't give the surface answer that you've given to, you know, whenever someone asks you like, oh, what do you want to do with your life or in your relationships? Like, really go there and ask yourself, what do I want to cultivate? Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. How are we doing? Almost there. Okay, I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. Zeta, that pizza looks so good. I can't stop looking at it.
It's house celebration pizza.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you both. Okay. You can always come back to this too, but for time's sake, let's wrap that part up. The next piece is probably like 2 minutes. I want you to go through all the sections. And if you wrote multiple ones underneath the categories, I want you to star the one that feels the most important to you right now under each of those categories. So I'll give you like a minute or two to do that. Highlight whatever you want to do. Okay, and once you've done that, I want you to go through all of them that you just starred, and I want you to pick one that you were going to add an extra star next to. That of all of the categories, you're like, this is where I need to put my attention and energy right now. I know this is hard. Okay, so before we go to the next step, I would love it if we could go around and unmute ourselves, if we feel comfortable. This is not like a need to, but I always think part of embodying your fuck yes self is having the courage to speak your voice, is sharing the category and the thing that you double starred. Okay. So in full vulnerability, I will go first because I have been doing this alongside of you. And I always say one, and then I always end up saying two, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm trying to actually follow my own fucking thing. Okay. So I'll go, my category is relationships. And my thing that I double starred was a deeply connected and fulfilling and hella sexy relationship with a woman. So that is my ultimate focus right now. Autumn, you are next on my Brady Bunch. If you would like to share, feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi. Mine was under personal spiritual growth. And it just says I want to trust in myself. So it's kind of a big, yours is really specific. And mine is like this big ambiguous idea, but
that's okay. That's a beautiful response. Also very in line with our call from last week. So I love that. Thanks for sharing. Brittany, you're up on my Brady Bunch if you would like to share.
Mine was under health, and I want to work on finding a healthy balance between food and fitness for myself.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Alyssa, you're next.
Mine was under health, and it's just continuing my exploration with drinking versus not drinking.
Thanks for sharing. Zeta.
Mine was for work purpose, and it's excitement and confidence to go to work at a business aligned with my values. My last day at my real job was on Thursday.
Congratulations. So much transition going on for you right now.
It's flat.
We have a big transitory group. I feel like so many of us in this space are like mad transitioning right now. I love it. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Jessica.
Mine was under health, and it was to eat better, to lose weight, or to just feel more comfortable in my body the way it is, and to be happy.
Thanks for sharing. Kylie.
Mine is also under work purpose, and it's to be in a job or role that feels aligned with my soul.
Love that. And Rachel.
Mine was under relationships, and it was to feel valued and celebrated for who I am in my current relationship, or maybe not in my current relationship.
Thank you for sharing. Also, thank you all for sharing that vulnerably. I know that can be really scary to speak. So thank you for that. So that was your responses to what you want to cultivate. And they are all beautiful answers. And the thing about that question is I asked it very intentionally. Because so often in life, we make goals and it all comes from a place of what, which is still an external thing, right? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to look like, right? And it all comes from this external place. And sometimes those things are aligned with our fuck yes self. But if we don't know why, then we don't know what. So this is called the why onion. And if you've done my shit before, you know all about the onion. But this is the onion, okay? I don't know if you can see that. The onion of your being. And at the center of the onion is your why. And we've been talking about the what, right? And so if we were only operating in life the way that I just asked you to operate, you would be asking about your what, then you would figure out, okay, so I know I want to cultivate this relationship with an amazing woman. Cool. How could I get there? Well, I guess I could go on a dating app and start talking to women. Okay. And then you get to the why, right? After all of that is said and done. But the way that we actually embody our fuck yes self is by flipping the script, is by connecting with the why first. Why am I wanting to have this relationship? Right? Why do I want to be in a job that is aligned with my soul? Why do I want to actually shift my relationship with food and with fitness? Because and the food and fitness is a perfect example. And as somebody who spent a lot of time in the world of food and fitness before coming into, more of a life coaching space, so many a time I would have clients come in who would, be suffering with binge eating and like orthorexia, like I was, and they wanted to shift their habits, but they couldn't, right? They had all the what, they were like, okay, well, if I do this, it's going to be great, but it never stuck. And it's because they weren't connected to their why. And so your onion is the most important thing, right? And part of the work that we're doing during this time together is peeling back all of these layers of the shoulds, of the things we've been told we should want, of society, of whatever, and getting to your root, to your core of your why, which is where your fuck yes self is, right? And so allowing us to actually like do the sculpting and removing the pieces of the pottery that aren't going to serve the end of the sculpture, so that we can actually show up as our beautiful, most like aligned self and embody this crazy amazing sculpture at the end of the day that's really us instead of this blob, right? I'm using so many metaphors, but you guys know what I mean. Right? We need to start with the why. And if you haven't heard of Simon Sinek, this is like his whole thing. He's this really incredible speaker all around the power of why. But I just think we don't ever actually tackle it from these things that we all talked about at the beginning of where we find comparison, right? You all brought these areas up. Like I had written this all out and you shared finance, work, career, body, relationship, right? We didn't talk so much about, spiritual growth and play and pleasure, because I think sometimes we forget to put ourselves first in that space. But those are the categories of our life, and we don't think about them from a why standpoint. We think about them from checks off, that we can check off the boxes from a bucket list almost, right? I need to put this money away for retirement. I need to have a healthy, successful relationship that goes for the rest of my life, because that's what success is when it comes to marriage, right? Like I need to lose 20 pounds because that's what my doctor said I needed to do to be in the BMI, which doesn't actually matter and is complete bullshit, right? There's all these things that we need to check the boxes off, or we're told we do, but it doesn't actually come from inside, right? So why the why is so important, is because this is your intrinsic motivation, okay? So intrinsic motivation is what actually gets us to do the things we want to do. So we're talking about fear. Connecting to your why and the things that actually intrinsically motivate you is what's going to allow you to take action in those areas. It's what's going to allow you to move through the fear with intention. So extrinsically motivated things are the things that I talked about before, right? In health and fitness, like I need to lose 20 pounds. And that is when motivation is coming from a form of like a punishment or earning a reward. So the whole treat yourself mentality, or like a cheat day in the world of fitness, that is extrinsically motivating things. Okay. So we're going to look back at our lists, and I want you to genuinely gut check yourself with the things that you've written down. And I want you to ask yourself, are these things that are intrinsically motivated coming from inside of myself, right? Is this coming from a deep desire of mine, or are these things extrinsically motivated? Places where I feel like I have to do this or else I'm going to be punished, or I have to do this so that I can get this reward. Okay. Does that make sense? So I want you to just gut check that. I'll give you like 2-3 minutes, and I want you to cross out anything that you wrote down that is extrinsically motivated, that is coming from outside of yourself. Okay. I'll give you like 3 minutes. When you're done with that, give me your eyeballs. I'm curious, while those of you who are finishing up are finishing up, did anyone not have to cross anything out? Cool. That's awesome. That's totally fine. When I first did this, I crossed almost everything off of my list. I was like, cool, here we go. Okay. So the next step of this is getting to the root of our why, because the fact that you feel like all of these things, or the things that are remaining on your list, are intrinsically motivated means that they are coming from a place of your knowing, that they are coming from that intuitive gut pull that says, I want this. This feels really good and in alignment with me. But if you're not connected to why that's the case, you're not going to actually follow through with it with intention. It's like, and this is a totally different thing, but in the world of sales and in the world of like business, you know, there's so much talk about why people buy. And at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the product. It has everything to do with the emotional connection we feel toward the product, right? And that's the same thing when it comes to why you do the things you do in your life, why you stick to the things you do. When you have a strong enough emotional pull to something, right? It's why we stay in relationships that don't serve us, because we have a deep emotional pull there, right? And we want to make it work. We want to stick it out, even if we see red flags, even if it's not actually supporting our long-term vision, you know, all of these things. You need to build and create and figure out what that emotional pull is. So I want to actually work with all of you who are live on the call right now with the example you gave me that was double starred. And we're going to figure out what your why is for that example together. Okay. So Autumn, I think you were up first. You want to unmute yourself. Can you remind me, it was build trust with yourself in the category of self-growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is that important to you?
Because I feel like it's the foundation for everything else. Like, I feel like I can't really, I feel like it's something that some people know how to do, or maybe they're taught how to do. And I just feel like it'll help make me feel more secure in my decisions, and help me feel less guilty over
Mm.
choices that I make.
Why is
If I-
feeling secure and not feeling guilty important to you?
Because I just want to, I guess, just be accepted, I guess, and not have to like filter myself for the sake of other people. I don't want to have to like dilute myself for the sake of other people.
So
I
you
want to
want to
like live
actually,
authentically.
because living authentically means more to you than being something that somebody else has created.
Yeah, like I'm just getting to the point where I would rather be myself and disappoint somebody than like than be their version and please them and be unhappy with myself. And
So
it's kind of
I
reached a tipping
hear,
point.
because living authentically is everything to me.
Mhm.
Interesting how living authentically and trusting yourself align. It's
Mhm.
interesting that those converge. Does that resonate when I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your why. Can you write that down?
Mhm. Mhm.
Cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right,
Mhm.
Brittany, you're up next, my love. Can you remind me, it was in this category of health, yes?
Yeah.
Remind me of your
Find healthy
exact words.
balance. Find healthy balance with food and fitness.
Okay. And why is that important to you?
Because I feel like it's always been a coping thing to go back to food, because growing up, just hardships, everything was given to me like, okay, you're feeling sad, here's some food, and which causes weight gain and always puts me in a hole. And like, while that food is giving me the satisfaction and the endorphins of feeling good at that time, I know the later effects are always negative, especially with weight gain and not taking care of myself, and I'm not getting those endorphins. And with the depression that I've had and stuff, I know making sure that I find that balance of eating right, but also going to the gym and taking care of my body and releasing that serotonin is important for me to maintain focus of.
Yeah. So how would finding that balance make you feel?
It put me more at ease. I feel like I stress about it too much. So if I had something that I could definitely, I know it's always going to fluctuate, but something that like I just felt more confident in those decisions without having to worry about, is this workout too much? Am I not doing enough? Is this food going to set me over the edge, or am I eating enough? Just trying to find the healthy balance between all that makes me feel like I'm going to be assured that it's just one less thing to worry about if I could just rely on knowing that I'm doing the right thing.
So I hear two things. I hear because it would allow me to trust myself when it comes to the world of wellness, which I think it's interesting that we have a through line of trust here. I hear that. And I also hear because it helps support my depression.
Mm-hmm.
Can you find a way to converge those two into a why and see what that might look like underneath? Just write why and then find a way to kind of merge those two together, because I feel like they both are huge pieces of the puzzle for you: trust and supporting your depression and your mental health. Cool. All right, Alyssa, you're up next. Okay, so exploring this is under health, right? Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
So exploring your relationship with alcohol, basically.
Yep.
So why is this important to you?
Because I don't, basically, like with the eating, I don't like using it as a coping mechanism. I'm over doing that. And like,
sorry, go ahead.
No, and like I used it like to fit in and stuff, and then it was just like I became a different person, and then my body just can't handle it. So it was just the after effects were worse, and I'm just over having that anxiety the next day and all that.
So do you feel like having a lack of alcohol or less alcohol in your life allows you to actually like fully be more yourself.
Oh, totally.
So
It's scary, but yeah.
yeah. I love that. I think if you focus your why in that space, like I
Mhm.
want to continue and to embody like my fullest self, and having a different relationship with alcohol supports me in that journey.
Yeah.
I think that's a really strong why. So can you find your own wording for that
Yes.
and write underneath? Cool. All right, Zeta. All about that work life.
Yeah, the
So
work life.
why is that kind of job important to you?
Well, I'm starting a business. So for me, it's like we spend so much time working, and I don't want to spend it in a way that makes me want to claw my eyes out, or like around people. For me, it's also like if I'm running a business that's aligned with my values, then I'm probably also attracting people that I want to work with
Yeah.
that are aligned too.
So fast forward like 3 years, your business is really like clicking. You're in that values place. You're working with the people that feel in alignment. Like, how does envisioning that feel?
Like, I think joy and peace, and like I'm sure that there's stress, but there's not stress that's unrelated to like there's not stress that has no reason, I guess.
Yeah. So that vision, that future, that feeling, that's like part of your why. So, I mean, and obviously you have to use your own words, but like when it comes to work, it's like, I want to create a life that allows me to live in a joyful, ease-filled environment that is completely under my control. Like you said, that, like at the end, so I just use that piece. Something like that, where it's like you can constantly see it in your brain and move towards that. And obviously use your own verbiage, but does that feel like, just hearing that be like, fuck yeah, like I want to go?
Yeah.
I know that vision deeply. I was there like 5 years ago. So I remember seeing it so clearly. So you can do it. I believe in you. But I love that. So create that why, write it in your own words underneath. Okay. Jessica. So yours was in the health space. Can you remind me of your specific verbiage? I know you kind of had a few.
Yeah, more just like I had like very sudden weight gain after I started a new medicine, and just like, I guess, learning to deal with learning that I can't eat the same way as I used to eat, or just adjusting to if I still want to eat that way, learning to adjust to my new body and being happy with my new body and learning to love my new body.
So I feel like the consistent thing that I heard both times was like loving my body, being happy with it. Like, what about that? Why is that important to you?
Because I think I have to love myself not before anyone else can love me, but like, I think that's important. Like, because if I love myself, other people are going to feel that.
So it involves other people.
Yes. And my confidence.
Yeah, but that's really important, because at first it was like, I want to do this, right? But when it involves other people, it's like, well, I want to feel good so that I can also attract other people into that space and feel really aligned, right? Like, I love that. So, and that's not a bad thing to be like, because I want other people to also like be brought into this space. I think it's a really beautiful thing. So maybe your why looks something along the lines of, I want to feel my best in my own skin so that I can also feel really confident around the people in my life that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that might be more in your verbiage.
Yeah.
Does that sound aligned?
Mhm.
Cool. All right. And Kylie, yours and Zeta's were very on point. Yours was more rooted in your soul, though.
I know, I was thinking that when you were talking to Zeta too. I was like, oh, this is like, I've heard of this.
So what do you think your why might be around like why that's important to you right now?
First off, I think it like my like body leans more towards like purpose over work. Like work will follow with purpose. But yeah, I wrote a job or role that feels aligned with my soul. I want to be able to, okay, so another one that I wrote down was also about using my voice, and it does tie into this, which is why I'm saying it. But I want to be able to use my like vast experiences of life up until this point to help other people through similar or the same things. And just like showing that by having to go into like your shadow or your dark or the bad points, that's like actually where you can find so much of your light.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to put it into a why.
So I hear two things. I hear I want to use my voice and feel fulfilled. And I also hear I want to serve people. Which one feels stronger to you?
I want to use my voice, feel stronger.
Okay, so your why is I want something along the lines of I want to create a work environment where I get to use my why and my story to help change other people's lives. Because that's the heart of it. The service comes after.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Find your own verbiage in that one. Okay. And last but not least, Rachel.
So I wrote in relationships to feel valued and celebrated for who I am. And I think that underneath that, I have a lot of like abandonment issues. And so it feels like I need to be seen and heard, and celebrated for who I am. I don't really know what my why is in that.
That is your why. You just said it. Because I want to feel seen and celebrated for who I am and help heal my abandonment issues. That's a huge why. That's one that I personally can relate to massively. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, and write that in your own verbiage underneath your guide. Okay. So that, does everyone understand? That's how, and for all of you watching the recording, if you want to share your double starred one, I can go live and like individually walk through a why that feels aligned from my standpoint, or we can, talk. If you're one of my Voxer people, just do it over Voxer too. But I want you to go through this, and I want you to do this for every single one. And that's your home soul work for this week, is you're going to go through all the ones that you didn't cross out, and you're going to write a why underneath it. Why is this important to you? Right? This is part of the curiosity and the self-awareness, right? Is getting to that root. And it can also just be like, if there's like a big overarching theme, like a big theme right now for me and my relationship side is like really stepping into my queerness. And literally everything that was under my relationship category was about like fostering a queer community, or, building a relationship with a woman, all these things. And so like my why is because embodying my queerness makes me feel whole. Which is like, I cry when I say that. And like, I'm a person that like tears up a lot. So like, it's pretty normal for me, but like when it hits home, something like this will probably happen, right? When it feels really, really like clicks. And that's when you know that you're on the path to your fuck yes self. That's when you know that you're starting to like allow all the bullshit external layers of your onion go that aren't really yours, and you're actually getting to the root of who you are. And that's something that I hid from a long time because I was scared. Because I was scared to let that part of myself shine. Because I was scared of what other people would think because I'm married to a man. Right? So all of this work, it's all linked with the fear, baby, right? But that's part of getting clear. And I hope that this created some curiosity in you, some self-awareness, and also probably leading towards a little bit of clarity. This is really powerful shit. And I want you to sit on this, and I want you to like really, really take in the things you wrote down, because they all came from a place of you. Like, you know better than anyone else what is your path, what is in alignment for you. Like, I can't say that for you. You know, you are all on your own path in that space, and you know you have the answers deep inside. That is where your heart lies, right? It's all inside. You have the answers. You've just been blocked, and we're getting rid of some of those blocks. Okay. So yeah, good luck on your soul work. Let us know in the Facebook group how it goes. I know this can be like unearthing, so feel free to use the Facebook group to come and support, share, brain dump. If you want to go live, use it for yourself, okay? Use it to make sure that you're getting support with this shit. It can be a lot. Yeah, goosebumps, Zeta. Before we hop off, can we all just unmute and take one big communal breath? I know we're at time, but I don't ever like to leave before doing this. Okay, so let's put our hands or wherever feels good and take a deep breath in and release. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with me live, for all of you watching the recording. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you guys in the Facebook group. Have a good night. Bye.